Hi guys, it's AubreyRS with another Revolution++ guide, and today we're looking at how we can use Revolution++ to AFK farm Gregorovic. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe for more easy-scape guides. Now let's get it cracking. So Gregorovic is insane money at the moment, due to players buying the Slisky Animacore gear for the new Trio Dinosaur boss, which is coming to the game soon. So we can take advantage by using this guide to farm Greg for big GP, averaging around 10 mil per hour or even more depending on your luck. So for requirements, you're going to need at least 90 plus melee combat stats. You're going to need at least masterwork gear, untrimmed, but trimmed is more reliable. You need at least tier 85 weapon with a 2H, preferably such as a lance or a scythe. And you must have the vampirism aura unlocked. I also recommend full rep with the Slisky Alliance in God Wars 2, so you get that enhanced drop rate. Okie dokie, so moving on to the invent setup, I use an Elder Overload, but any overload really is fine. I've got 2 super prayer renewals, that's just to keep the prayer up during the time we're there. Weapon poison plus. Greg is susceptible to poison, so that's a really good option there, just for a bit of extra DPS, so it's going to help our sustain, so we can stay alive. We've got some prayer flasks. I think the super restores. Yeah, super restores. Got some of them. That'll keep us going for the full hour. I've got a space in there, just in case I get a rare drop, if anything. Then I've got the noted items that Greg is going to drop. Like Rune Salvage, medium and large. You've got the sharks in there, magic logs, battle staffs. You're just having a placeholder for them in your inventory will just help you be efficient with your space. I do have stone spirits in the inventory. You don't have to have them there, to be honest. They're not even worth much, so it's up to you if you want to collect them or not. I've got some emergency food with some sailfish there. And I've got the enhanced Excalibur, just in case there's an oh crap moment, but normally that never happens. So moving on to the gear, I've got my full trim masterwork. Alongside that, I've got my Cinderbane gloves. Cinderbane gloves have a great synergy with weapon poison plus. It really does good damage against Greg, so I really do recommend that. For weapon, I've got my Noxious Scythe. I've got my Terran Wind Quiver, that just saves me a tiny bit of prayer with the prayer bonus it gives. I've got my Superior Vampirism Scrimshaw. I get that from ports. You can either make them in ports yourself or buy them off the GE. Either way is fine, really, but we really need to have that, so I insist, if you're going to do this method, you need to be having that Scrimshaw. You can get the tradable version or the untradable. Either is fine. I've got Ring of Death in my ring slot, just in case I am to die. It's not really going to happen, but if you get really unlucky, it can happen, so it's good just to have that there as a failsafe. I use a Blood Fury amulet. You could use an Amulet of Souls, but to be honest, with the upkeep costs, I think Blood Fury is fine. So I opt just to use that. And especially because you're not using the buff from the Amulet of Souls to get more soul split healing, I feel like the bonus is kind of negated by using that. I feel Blood Fury overall actually gives you more healing. So I'd recommend that. And then I've just got my standard max cape. One note with the trim masterwork, like I said earlier, you don't have to have it trimmed. You could just get normal masterwork and you could survive just off of that. That's totally fine. But trim masterwork is just a bit more reliable. The untrimmed, the health can get a bit dicey sometimes. So if you can get trimmed, I would get it. If you can't, normal masterwork is also just as good. And last but not least, we have the Revolution++ bar. The first ability you'll see there is grayed out is Pulverize. What Pulverize does is it does a chunky bit of damage. You're talking anywhere between 7 and 9k. And it reduces the damage dealt by the boss by, I think, 50% for a good 30 seconds. So it's a really good way to start off the kill. It just helps to mitigate that damage. Everything else here is pretty uniform. You've got your Cleave, Dismember, Hurricane, Sever, Quake. Then you have Debilitate, really good for reducing some of that boss damage. You've got Slaughter there. That's really good because Greg will teleport around the room sometimes, and that will count as him moving, so he'll take the damage multiplier from that. A Sacrifice for a bit of extra heals, and then just some basic abilities thrown in there just to keep the adrenaline high. And then we also have Devotion. So you'll find that because of the damage reduction buffs using this bar, Greg will never really slap you too hard. It can only be an issue sometimes if Greg pulls you in and does melee, but normally he'll teleport away pretty shortly after that, so he's never going to be sustained doing melee damage to you for a long time anyway. So as long as you're using this bar and you follow the setup up to this point, you'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so we're at Greg. We're ready to go. We believe we're set up. We're going to try it. So when we're ready, we start the instance. We set the respawn to fastest. We turn on our Vampirism Scrimshaw and our Vampirism Aura for the HP sustain. We're going to turn our quick prayers on. So that's our pray range. We've got our torment. We've got our protect item just to have it there anyway. After that, we turn our run off. And there's a deliberate reason why we turn our run off. That's because if you stand in melee distance of Greg, he's going to melee you and it's going to hurt and you're probably going to die. So if you turn your run off, so that way you're only walking, you'll never walk yourself into MD against Greg. Therefore, you'll always be staying at that range distance. And then because you'll be praying range, you're going to be mitigating so much damage, especially with Devotion Debilitate. So that's going to be really useful. It's going to help your sustain. So yeah, once you've started the combat, you're outside melee distance, that's it. You could pretty much just go AFK for 5 minutes and you'll be absolutely fine. As long as you've got your Vampirism Scrimshaw on, your Aura, you've got your Protect range on. As long as you're all potted up, you've got your Overload on. You've got your Super Prayer Renewal, you've got your Weapon Poison on. That's you fine for a good 5 minutes. You can just AFK that. Especially if you have a legendary pet who could pick up the drops for you, then you can go fully AFK for 5 minutes. I don't have a legendary pet, so I'll check my screen every minute or two just to make sure I've not missed a drop. But apart from that, that's pretty much all you need to do at this point. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully that's been really useful for you. Hopefully you've learned a few bits from that. If you liked the video, again, just make sure you like it for the algorithm. I really appreciate that. Drop your comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you all soon. Take care, guys. Oh, yeah, typical. Typical. Just recording a clip for the video, and there's my luck. There you have it, folks. That is my luck.